Anthem Church is a brand new church plant. We've only been around for 2 years. And when I brought the story to our pastor, Pastor Chase, he was sold immediately. He was just fully on board, and he just kept saying, tell me more, tell me more.
The biggest thing for the movement to happen in your church is you need a leader on staff to buy into it wholeheartedly. And then from there, I think you need a champion. And when a leader and a champion come together around a vision, from there it's about a movement of people in your church responding to that.
We had 6 families out of the gate that just signed up to be host families. And we were so excited. So families started hosting children just left and right.
You know what led us to become a host family to begin with? We just both independently felt like God was saying, this is something that I want you to do. And the truth is that while a hosting never really fits on our personal schedule, it fits in God's schedule. You know without a shadow of a doubt that God's in this, and we're just called to serve.
We got to host 2 little girls, and it was just for a week, and it was a really challenging week. It was crazy, it was wonderful, and really, really hard at the same time, and I think that's usually where God wants us to be.
Right.
We relied on him a lot.
We started with a 10-year-old girl and 11-year-old boy, which was not what we were expecting. We kind of were thinking our kids' age, and our kids are quite a bit younger than that, but we kind of went with it and opened up our doors, and it rocked us. It really did. Just what we were willing to give up in order to see how God could use us.
I have this new level of trust with God that he loves this little boy more than I do, and he's taking care of him, and he's working in his life, and we get to pray for him, and we got to have him for this one little moment. It's so special.
As of right now, we're 3 years in. We have 10 host families. We have 50 family friends.
And these family friends support everything the host families are doing.
We had never fed an 11-year-old boy and a 10-year-old girl, so that's a lot. But we had meals being delivered, we had support from so many people, and it was amazing. Not only did God show up, but our whole church showed up.
Yeah, when we said yes to, taking in these girls, it was just amazing how the whole church together came alongside of us and helped us. We were not alone, and it was just a beautiful church family doing it together.
We had close friends from our church and people who hardly knew us from our church surprise us with a work party and completely remodeled our backyard so that these kids could have a safe and fun place to hang out while they stay here.
You're not doing it alone, and that's the great thing, is your church family, and then they get to be involved.
This partnership and this movement has created powerful testimonies of what it looks like to be different from the rest of the world, what it looks like to live your life outside of yourself.
It increases the faith of every person that's involved. I feel like the more that we encounter real life, the more we encounter hardships, the more dependent we are on Jesus. And what I have seen in Anthem Church is that across the board, everyone's more and more excited about Jesus. And then that fire, that wildfire we're talking about, just keeps growing and growing.
The pen is still on the pad. God is still writing that story, but we can say 3 years in that it's been worth it, and that our people are more like Jesus because of it. And I think we're changing the local conversation about what the church is, why it matters, who Jesus is, and why you can maybe give him a second chance.